We are so excited to be here. Thank you for welcoming us into the space. Where's Katie York, who has been so awesome. I think Katie and like the whole team here at Lifelong Montclair have been so amazing to work with. So thank you to them for having us and hosting us. This is such a beautiful space. This is like the first water view I've ever seen in a community center. I'm coming back. You're gonna have to kick me out of here. So this is our very first event in New Jersey. This is the first day that we are available in Northern New Jersey. So this is a big day for us. We are so excited. So what I'm hoping to do here today is tell you a bit about the mission that we are on here at Umbrella. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you a bit about why Umbrella exists, the mission that we're on here, sort of how we get to work with communities like the community here. I'm going to tell you the details of how this whole system works. I'm going to show you some of the ways that our many members use and get value out of Umbrella, and then we'll explain how to join. If you want to get set up today, we can do that. So let's dive right in. Thank you, Emma. This is Emma Gillisands from our team. So really quick poll for you. I'm so curious. We learned so much about different communities as we get out and talk to folks. How many people have been living in their current home for at least 10 years? Okay. And what about 20 years? 30 years? 40 years? 50 years? Do we have any 50 years? Yeah, we do. 60 years? 60 years? 70? Okay. 70 years. Okay. So people, that's awesome. That's really impressive. And I'm also curious, if you think about 10 years from now, how many of you expect to still be in the house that you're in? A mix. Okay. So some questions. So some people thinking yes, some not sure, some debating about what's going to come next. Okay. Really helpful. So I want to start out by telling you about one of our members. This is Rosemary. This is actually her. She's sitting outside in front of her really beautiful house. And Rosemary is representative of many of our customers, many of the members that we work with at Umbrella. So Rosemary lives in a really nice 3-bedroom community, 3-bedroom house. She lives there with her husband. She raised her son there. She loves taking care of her house. It's in really good shape. But a couple of years ago, her husband, who's 7 or 8 years older, had a health condition come up. She is super active, but there's just some stuff that she can't do anymore. Either it's physically a little bit hard or she doesn't want to do it anymore. And those things, are sort of super comprehensive. It's things like mowing the lawn that her husband used to do. It's things like changing the air conditioners when the seasons change. House cleaning, the vacuum cleaner just gets heavy. It's things like light plumbing. So, she's been in her house for 30 years. And if you've been in your house for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, you know that things sometimes break. The things that used to work really well 10 years ago aren't working as well today. And so this list of stuff would just keep coming up. And so it's everything from cleaning to plumbing to gardening to snow removal, which is a really big one, cleaning out the garage. She just has this to-do list that she's always had a house to-do list, but over the past number of years, it's started to get a bit longer. Does this sound familiar to people? Yeah, these homeowners. There's a beautiful thing about being a homeowner. When Rosemary walks around her house, she thinks about the children she raised there, the grandchildren who come over there, the Thanksgiving she hosts. It's a really special place, but also it's a whole lot of work. And I imagine that this is a case for a lot of you. This is actually a home in Montclair. I wonder if any of you recognize this house. But we hear those stories all the time. It's stories that we hear from our members all the time. And so what they tend to say to us is, I really love my house. I want to take good care of it. It's just a little bit too much work. It's too hard to find trusted people. The prices are really expensive, and I'm not really sure where to go. So 2 stories that come up all the time. So one is our member, Irene. Irene first actually joined Umbrella because she knew she was going to have knee surgery. And so she wanted someone who was going to help her with grocery shopping. That's really all it started. It was grocery shopping for like 2 weeks and making sure she had her medications. But she signed up with Umbrella and she discovered all these other ways that she could get things done. So lo and behold, there was someone who came and took her air conditioners in and out as the seasons changed. She fixed a light fixture. She hired a house cleaner. She knew she had a certain set of jobs, and then the list got longer as it was easier and easier to get things done. Another really typical story is a member of ours named Joe H. Joe and his wife Jane have been in their house for about 30 or 40 years. He used to do all the lawn mowing. He doesn't want to do it anymore. She used to do all the house cleaning. She doesn't want to do it anymore. They started with those jobs. Umbrella helped them get those things done. And then as they moved through their to-do list, we're there to help with those things too. So we just think that there's a better way. We think it's possible to stay in the house that you love, to take care of the house that you love, and have it be not quite so much work, not so expensive, and honestly not so worrisome, to make sure that you can get people who you trust to take care of things whenever you need it. And that's what we're here for. It starts with the Umbrella Neighbors. They are the heart and soul of what we do, really the sort of the heartbeat of our organization. They're incredibly talented and skilled people. These are just a handful of them. There are hundreds of folks who work through Umbrella. And you probably can think of this picture of this person. They're people who have been homeowners their whole lives. They're super skilled. They love doing handy jobs. They've probably built some part of their homes themselves, or they've been cleaning and organizing their own homes forever. They like to stay busy. They're happy to earn some extra money, and they really like helping out their neighbors. The problem, if you're a homeowner, is that these people are often really hard to find. It's hard to know if they're going to be good, and it's hard to know how much to pay them. And I know the story of these people. My grandfather was this person, and he would go around his neighborhood. He had all of his tools in his car. He basically built my family's house totally from scratch. It was like a leaky faucet, you call Jim Monday. It was a plumbing issue, you call Jim Monday. You need some painting done, you call Jim Monday. He did it nights and weekends. He was super trusted, did a great job. And this is the sort of person who we think of as being the prototypical Umbrella neighbor. These are the types of people who do jobs through us. So Carl, Mike, Stacy, Ranjiv, so many amazing stories here. Mike is a recently retired firefighter in FDNY, super handy, does everything from yard work to handyman tasks. Stacy does a bunch of house cleaning for our members. Ranjiv was formerly in the military, wants to stay busy, earn some extra money, and does a lot of power washing, outdoor tasks, those sorts of things. So this is a network of people that we bring together through Umbrella who are a core part of our community here. There's some really important things to know about the Umbrella Neighbors. So yes, these are great people. They work really hard, but it's also important for you and for our members that we know that they're carefully vetted. And so we take trust and safety it's super important to us here. So we do a couple of different things. Every single person who works through Umbrella is triple vetted. That means they've been through a background check. I think we might have some Umbrella neighbors here, actually. So they've been through this. They've been through a background check, an interview, and references before they are able to accept a single job through Umbrella. So that means we know that they're trusted people who are going to do jobs well. We collect reviews after every job. So this is sort of the power of the membership and the network. You're not getting feedback just from your one neighbor. You're getting feedback from the hundreds of other people who have hired the same person to do that same job. Less than 10%, I think it's 7 or 8% of people are actually accepted to be an Umbrella neighbor, and so we do that work really carefully. These are people who are super skilled who also get a lot of energy from staying active and giving back. We hear this all the time. I've been a homeowner my whole life. I'm a handy guy. Now I use my skills to help out my neighbors. Okay. The second piece is, so the Umbrella neighbors focus on those sort of small to mid-sized jobs, handiwork, cleaning, yard work, those sorts of things that a handy homeowner would be able to do. Sometimes bigger jobs come up. Has anyone ever had a pipe burst or a roof leak or the power, some electrical issue that you cannot identify? And then, I don't know if you've had this experience. We experience this all the time because we do this work on behalf of our members literally every day. You go to Angie's List. You go to Home Advisor and you talk to your neighbor, and maybe you go to Nextdoor and you ask for recommendations. It is really difficult to find professionals who are trusted and vetted. It's hard to know what the right price is, and it's also hard to get them to call you back. They're really busy. They're out and about and doing jobs. I don't know if you've had this experience. You had a roofer you used 10 years ago. He or she was great. You call them back. They're no longer available, or they never get back to you. And it's because these people are out in the field doing their work all the time, and it's hard to sort of manage that client piece. We do all that work for you. So we say this all the time, if you're not sure where to go, come to Umbrella. If it's for the small jobs, we can take care of those with the Umbrella Neighbors. For the larger jobs, which come up a lot, we've got you covered there too. And so what we do is we have an in-house team that vets networks of professionals who work on behalf of our members. So that means they check to make sure they're properly accredited. Do they have the right license and insurance? We do reviews and vetting on them. Are they well reviewed by customers who have used them before? And we talk to them about prices to make sure that there are always free quotes and the prices are going to be transparent and reasonable. So you're never having a person come to your house and doing something at a price that doesn't make sense. Our members get prioritized booking, so you always get responses. And again, the prices are super transparent. It just shouldn't be this hard to get this stuff done, and that's what we're there for. So this is the list of like 10 of the many categories that we work on our members' behalves for. I can't tell you how many great stories like this that we get to hear. Usually what happens, the typical Umbrella story is someone comes in for one thing. They say, the only thing I'm gonna need is X. And then 3 months later, they look at the list of things that they've done and they've discovered there are like 20 different jobs that they've used Umbrella for. That's our favorite. We want people to keep us as busy as possible. And so Mary actually called us because she had a roof leak. She was looking for a roofer. She wasn't sure where to go. We had a vetted network of people we had worked with before who could do a great job for her. But then, as you can imagine, the fall was coming. She was thinking about snow removal. She came to Umbrella for snow removal. We helped her take care of that. Then in the spring, there was a garage cleanup. She had like 20 years of stuff that she wanted to get hauled out. Then she ordered some new furniture. We helped her do the assembly. She had some new track lights. The list goes on. This is sort of the typical story that we hear. So that's Mary. And then David started with house cleaning. You know, my wife doesn't want to do the house cleaning anymore. We also have lots of men who used to do the house cleaning as well. So he was looking for a house cleaner, and Umbrella was able to help him find someone who did a great job. Then he was looking at a bedroom, and he was like, oh, I need some painting done, so we helped him take care of that. And then through the seasons, and we're going through this in the spring, thank goodness, as the seasons start to turn, it's everything from yard work to the air conditioner to making sure the house is ready to go as things getting the patio furniture outside. We help take care of all of those things too. Using Umbrella is super fast and easy. The last thing that anyone needs is to spend more time and more effort getting these things done. So you only have to do 2 things. Whenever you want to get a job done, you can place a request via phone. You can call us. How many people use mobile apps? Does anyone have a mobile phone? Okay, great. You can text us or you can use our mobile app. So lots of different options. More and more of our members are actually using our mobile app. You place a request. We get that. You get a same-day response every time. And then you get matched to a vetted person for that job. And what most people do is they get sort of a team of people around them who they use over and over again. They get to know the sort of 5 or 6 people who are great for them, and then they just come to us and rebook whenever they need to get that done. And then after the job is completed, we do everything digitally, so you don't have to worry about having cash or check on hand. We process it over a credit card only after the job is completed, and then you get emailed a receipt. Super, super simple. 3 important things to know about how we do things Umbrella. The first is that we're member supported. So we're a membership service that is really important to our values. That means that we're on your side. And so we support the organization and support the work that we do through your membership. And what that means is when you need help, when you need a recommendation, our interests are to serve you as best as possible, not to serve anybody else. All of the jobs done through Umbrella are covered by a happiness pledge. So something that comes up a lot is, you know, I hired this other person a couple of years ago, it didn't go well, I had no recourse. Any job that an Umbrella neighbor does is covered by our happiness pledge, which means if you're not happy, we fix it for you at no additional cost. Doesn't happen very often, but it's really important to us that every job is done well and with a lot of trust. And then there's the power of the network. And this is where sort of being in a community center is so appropriate, I think, to what we do. Umbrella works because groups of people come together to make it work. And that means it works on the neighbor side of amazing people with skills. And we may have some neighbors in this room, in which case I would love to talk to you, who use their skills to give back, make some extra money. There's a huge community component to that. And then it works because of the community of members. And there's the people who, by banding together, help us work with pros and get the best prices for you, help us sort of serve you as quickly and as fast as possible. And that's sort of why we're here today, to have you all join us in making Umbrella happen in this community. We've worked with thousands of members, with thousands of really happy folks. And these are people who tell us that they have found a worry-free, peace-of-mind way to be able to take care of their house, get things done, and focus on the things that they want to do in life. That's why we're here. That's what our mission is. That's what we sort of get up every day being really, really fired up about. And so we're so excited to get to talk to you about your homes and what you need to get done and what's on your mind, and to think about all the ways that we can help. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about how it works. We try to make this as simple as possible. So membership through Umbrella is $199 for the whole year. So that covers you. You can use us once a year. You can use us 50 times a year. We want you to keep us as busy as possible. What you get with that is a hand-vetted network of the neighbors and pros, as I mentioned. Every person gets a personal membership coordinator, so you have someone on call for you whenever you need to get something done. You can book jobs through the app, through the phone, same-day responses, access to the happiness guarantee, one flat rate for all the neighbor jobs. So this part is really important. For those 50 to 60 categories of things that we do, the jobs are just $20 an hour. They're meant to be super affordable and accessible. I know if you go and hire a handy person, it can be $70, $80, $100 an hour. So this is meant to be super reasonably priced and accessible to you. And then when it comes to the pro network, we get pre-negotiated packages and rates for our members, so you know that you're going to get a good deal and good work at a fair price. Great question. So the membership is with us, and the way that it works when someone comes to do the job is you're not obligated to them for beyond that single job that you book. So if you want to have the same person come back 50 times, great, we'll make that happen. If you just want that one job with that one person, terrific. That's it. So you book a person. Does that make sense? So you book a single job. You just let us know. So our job is to be, we are at your beck and call. So your job is to tell us what you want, and we make that happen for you. So if you're not happy with the person for whatever reason, if they're not the right person for the job, there's no obligation for that. We make it happen. 99% of times, people are really happy.
You would commit to then helping us get somebody
every time. Every time. Yep, always. That is our job, and that's what makes you our member. Okay, but I do want to mention one thing, and then I want to answer questions and leave as much time as possible to talk with you all, because really what we're interested in is we want to know what's important to you. We want to know the jobs that are on your mind, the things you want to get done. What are the ways that we can really be there for you to make this all a whole lot. Being the homeowner, the good parts, we always say we want to make homeownership invisible. Take away the bad parts and make sure we can focus on all of the good stuff. So because we are new to New Jersey, which we're so excited about, so we've been in upstate New York, Long Island, and now are available here. We're doing something special for the first folks that we get to work with. So we're calling this the founding membership. Instead of $199, it's $150 to sign up for the year. Comes with a couple of things. So the first is we launch new services for our members all the time. So we are super member driven. People will say to us, we need an option for transportation. We need an option for snow removal. And we need landscaping packages. And so we respond to those things. So our team gets to work and builds the best option for you. And that's also what we're going to do here. We want a lot of feedback from you all. And so you'll get first access to new services as we roll them out. We usually launch new things every couple of months. Early invitations to Umbrella events. This will be the first of others. And then we have an Umbrella advisory panel. So it's really key that we build the organization hand in hand with people who are our members and our customers. And so our founding members both will get access to a unique price and then also sort of a close relationship with us. We have space for 25 people to do this. We're thrilled to sign you up whenever you're ready, whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, whenever we're ready to go and get to work for you. Also, where are we located? This is another piece where we really depend on you. So towns that we are operating in today include Montclair, Verona, Cedar Grove, North Caldwell, Woodland, Park, Little Falls. So there's a list here. There are more towns. You can sort of see generally in this circle. It might be hard to see. If you're not sure, just ask us and we can tell you. If your town is not on this list, let us know. We decide where to open next based on customer demand. So your feedback is really important. So every new place we've opened up until this point has been because customers have been saying we want you here. So if you don't see your community here, let us know. We'd be really excited to be there. Okay. This is our team. Some press coverage we've gotten. We're on a mission to make homeownership a lot easier for people over 65. We're so thrilled to be here. My name is Lindsay Allman. Okay, great. The feedback, it's so crucial. Yeah, so any of the jobs that people do through Umbrella when it's the Umbrella Neighbors are covered by our happiness guarantee. So that means if something is broken, or if there's any sort of issue like that, then our insurance covers that. In the case that people are part of the Pro Network, we vet them to make sure that they're properly accredited. So it depends on the job. Sometimes they need a license, sometimes they don't. We make sure they have the right insurance, the required workers' compensation. So for the cases, good question. So for the cases that something breaks, that's covered under us. In the cases that it's the Pro Network, we make sure that they have the right stuff. The people who do umbrella jobs, we mostly have them do smaller jobs. So they're like fixing a leaky faucet, doing some house cleaning, and that would be under your homeowner's insurance. It's a lot of word of mouth, actually, and so a lot of the Umbrella Neighbors will have someone, it comes from both sides. Members will say, I have this really handy friend or neighbor, you absolutely should work through Umbrella, or neighbors refer other neighbors. And so it comes from a lot of different places, community organizations, labor unions, retired FDNY and NYPD, firefighters are so handy and skilled. And a lot of them actually are handy people on the side. So a lot of the people who actually work through Umbrella do these jobs for other people. They do it for us at a very different price because they know that we're a super mission-oriented organization. So a lot of them are doing these jobs elsewhere. But every single person, it doesn't matter what job you do, goes through the same process. Yes, they're all local. So most people don't want to travel. You know, like you want to go a couple of blocks, like city blocks if you're in the city, you want to go a couple miles away. Traffic is what it is. And so people are usually almost always coming from the same community. They don't want to travel far and they get to choose. So I can show you an app. They get to choose all the jobs they do and they generally choose to be as close as possible. So we've never had, we hear the stories a lot. We've never had people be like, oh, Joe showed up and I actually already knew him, because you know who's coming in advance. But they're people who usually have sent their kids to the same school or live on a street that you know. It just works better for the people who work through us as well. Okay, we'll go over here.
Is Umbrella nonprofit or profit?
We are for-profit. We're a social enterprise. And so what that means for us is we have certain thresholds of things that we do to make sure that we are member-focused first. So if you look at our sort of order of priorities, it's members first and then the business. And so the most important thing for us is that we build a self-sustaining company. It allows us to open in more places, but the members come first every time. We have the snow removal program. I bet you people have questions about snow removal, I'd imagine. Okay, so yeah. So we do this in a very particular way. So if people have snow blowers, a lot of homeowners have snow blowers, then you can get paired with an Umbrella Neighbor at the beginning of the season. They do the snow removal for you. We care a lot about safety, and so we don't have people do snow shoveling unless it's through a professional snow removal service. So if you don't have a snow blower, then we will bulk negotiate prices for our members. We just did a bunch of these last season. So basically we find that we get prices that no one else can get because we have hundreds or more members who all come together to do something in the same neighborhood. And we're able to, it's really hard to find residential snow removal. We can often get people to do it for us who won't do it otherwise because we have a bunch of people who band together to do it. So from their point of view, it's rather than having 2 people, they can take 50 customers all in the same neighborhood and make it work. So, okay, what about over here?
Could you talk a little
So Umbrella actually started in upstate New York about 25 years ago. So it has a long, long history. The real story, or the sort of full story, is my co-founder's family member, grandmother, was a member of that original organization, which is how we knew about it. And he and I were working at Google together, so we used to work in technology. And his grandmother told him about this organization. We thought it was an amazing, mission-oriented idea. We met the founder of that original organization, who's an advisor to us and has helped us build Umbrella to what it is today. We knew that it needed to exist in many more places. And so the work that we do of both making sure that people who have skills and want to stay busy and give back have the opportunity to do that, because it's a real mission for the Umbrella neighbors. They love this work. They're so good at it. There's nothing better than getting up and doing work that you're really proud of every day on your own schedule. And so that's a huge part of the mission. And then also making sure that homeowners who want to stay in their own communities have the access that they deserve to affordable and reasonable services. It's hard to imagine something more purposeful than that. And so we got to know this original organization. We said it has to exist everywhere. We had a bit of a technology background that made us think that we could do that. So we've built a lot of software that supports the stuff that happens behind the scenes. You don't ever have to use any technology to be a member of Umbrella. We use it in the background to make us better at what we do. And then we knew we could bring it to many more places. And so there are thousands of members of Umbrella across multiple locations. We're just opening here, but we don't open a place until we have Umbrella neighbors who are triple vetted and who are going to do great work. So that's our first requirement to open. And then we go in and have members join. We are not yet. We will check and see. If you give us the exact zip code, we can double check to make sure. And then if you are in Ocean County and want to sign up, we'll put you on our wait list, because that's how we'll decide where we'll go next. So we can talk about that.
So you're waiting for people, names.
Yeah, so basically, yes, yep, exactly. So once we know that there are enough people who want it there, then we go.
It's like the heartland of senior citizens in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Just want me to know.
Great. No, that's great feedback. And we go, like, you all know the community so well, and so we follow you.
Going with the pro and the neighbor.
Yes, the pro and the neighbor. And so it's basically, it's complexity of job and also requirements to be able to do that job. So for example, the easy example is if you have a roof leak, there's no Umbrella neighbor who's getting up on a roof to go and fix that leak. That is a professional roofer. We will vet the roofers, negotiate prices, make sure they're going to do a good job for you. And then we tend to build very close relationships with the same professionals over and over. So we know, okay, you've done jobs for 40 people, you're going to do the 41st job really well. And so it sort of gets into, part of our job is to have the expertise to know where to go, A or B. So it depends on the specific job you're talking about. But at high level, it's yes. How much skill do you need to have? What's the complexity of the job?
Determined by you.
Yes. Yep, totally. And in conversation with the members, we have pretty clear lines about things that we will not do. And people are often surprised by how many things that we can do that are just small jobs that professionals don't want to do. They're not going to make enough money doing them, so we can save you a bunch of money and then save the bigger jobs for the pros. It's a good question. I can get you I don't know the exact number here, and it depends by category. So part of what's important for us is category. So it's because we do a wide range of things. It's people who have handy skills, who can do the cleaning, the house organizing, the yard work. And so we don't open until we have people across categories, but I can give you the exact number.
Like wait lists also? I mean, would there be a wait list?
Yeah, for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we tend to do for the neighbors is we try to have the neighbors be ahead of the members. So we always want to make sure that we have the right people to go and do the jobs for you, so that when you call or you text us or you make a request, we can go and make that happen for you. If for some reason there's an area, there's some seasonality, so this is also an important thing, I'm sure you know this. Spring tends to get really crazy. Staff, it's like the whole world comes alive, and so there are lots of jobs to do. And so there are moments from time to time where we'll say, instead of it taking 2 days, it might take 5 because it's a little busier. But we tend to do things much, much faster than you can find through other services. We'll always keep recruiting. Yep, we do. Because as the membership grows, we need more neighbors. But we always want the neighbors to be ahead of the membership. It's a great question. They're great partners for us. So Umbrella doesn't work without great local businesses. And the reason that's important is we want to build and do build close partnerships with the very best professional service providers. And so what we find a lot from electricians and plumbers and others is that we can help them, we can help do the small jobs that they don't really want to do, and then make sure that they're getting, very quickly, we're getting them a lot of customers who need those larger jobs done. So they're great partners for us, and we've been lucky to be able to build those relationships. Okay, yes. Depends what you mean. We're open, again, we do this work to make communities work better. And so depending on what you're thinking about, we'd love to talk. Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a 1 hour minimum, and then after that, it's just by the 15 minutes. So if someone's there for an hour and a half, you only pay for an hour and a half. The time starts from the time the neighbor rings your doorbell. So you're not paying transportation fees, you're not paying show-up fees, it's just that 1 hour minimum. We do that we really respect the neighbors' times. They're really skilled and talented and deserving of being fairly compensated, so that's why we do that. Great question. We always say it's totally up to the members. And so if someone does a great job, go for it. You are never obligated. I think it happens a fair amount, but it's totally up to the members, and the neighbors know that it's really up to you. You can do that. You can do that in cash, or there's a space if you're using our mobile app where you can do that automatically. So we try to make that really easy, but it's up to you.
At what number of service providers do you decide, okay, now we're ready to go and...
It's a good question. So what we found...
seek out members in this area.
There's sort of a magic ratio of something like 1 to 6 we found of 6 members to every neighbor, and it varies across categories. And so we roughly say, okay, we expect we're going to have some hundreds of members in this community over the next month or two. And so we make sure we have enough people to support that. And that's on the Pro Network too. So before we've signed up a single person, our team, literally today, we have 4 people on the phones today who are out vetting professional service providers to make sure we have them ready for you when you need to get something done. Great question. We get asked that a lot, actually, and so one thing I think that we want to start doing is making sure that all the neighbors have an umbrella hat or something with them if they want to bring it. But for all of the members, you always know the name of the person who's coming. So you always know the person who's coming, some details about them, and it's a specific time. So that's another important piece. So rather than getting these time windows, which is like, I'll be there somewhere between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m., which is so helpful, we have specific appointments. So you'll know that Lindsay is coming to my house at noon, so when she gets there, she'll introduce herself as Lindsay. But I hear, and you can always, by the way, you can always ask someone for their ID. That's no problem, they'd be happy to show it. But we have some of the parameters in place so that, no one from Umbrella will ever be coming to your door for some surprise appointment. It'll be booked in advance. So for once it gets into the more technical jobs, that's part of the vetting that we do. The other thing that I want to say is, so if you have a large plumbing job that you need done, that's when you're going to need a licensed plumber to go and do that job, and you can book that person through Umbrella. The other thing I want to say about the trust and safety piece is We generally speaking, not generally speaking, we go above and beyond that. So we do a lot of work on this. So that's where every person goes through a national background check. Every person has references that we do. Every person does an interview. And then the review piece, I can't say enough how important that is. The review piece happens after every job. So if I hire someone or you hire someone through Umbrella, we're collecting a review on that job every single time. So that means when the next person goes, you have to maintain a certain quality rating to stay on Umbrella. And so we get the power of the membership basically to make sure that the quality stays really high. And then of course you're always backed by the happiness guarantee. It's a great question. Yes, it's a great question. So you can go to the website. So if anyone wants to apply, you can go to askumbrella.com/work. And then you can see all the list of different jobs that you can do. It's from handy tasks to house cleaning to yard work to gardening. Technology tutoring is actually something that comes up a lot. So we help people set up an Alexa or set up an iPhone. And so there's a full range of lists. What I always say to members is you can always call us if you're not sure. The member app has all the lists of jobs that we do. And people are always surprised. They're always surprised.
And we're constantly adding new services as well.
All the time. Yeah, so this was based on feedback from our members actually, and feedback from our partner organization that's been operating for so long, is having a check, having cash on hand, knowing exactly the right amount is a pain. And so we do everything by credit card. And so that means you get billed after the job is done, and then you get an email receipt. You get a receipt sent to you. So you have the copy of all the work. Before the neighbor leaves, you sign off on it. So you'll see the copy of the work and then you sign off. And then if you want to add a tip, you can do that there too, but it's totally up to you. So we try to make it really automatic. Yep, so they can buy them for you, or you can buy them. So the materials are up to you, whichever is easier. So a lot of people just prefer to have the neighbors buy them because they know exactly what they need. If you want to buy them, that's fine. That's fine too. What we do for those things, and so the most common things are plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, tend to be the biggest things. I'm trying to think.
Do you act as a home advisor or as?
We try to do it a number of notches better. Part of the frustration that we heard from members was you go online and you try to find a service, they don't call you back. It's hard to understand the prices. You don't know if they're going to do a good job. We think it's not a great experience. And so what we do instead is we find and vet a tighter network of people who work really closely with us. They prioritize our members. They do jobs on a regular basis. They all offer free quotes. They do a best price guarantee, so they guarantee that they're going to offer our members the best price available. Sometimes we can also get discounts for our members, but honestly, we'd rather work with people who are we'd rather choose the very best people we can find and make sure it's a fair price than get the cheapest price that we can find and have the work not be as good. And so we make sure that we work with really high quality people. And then again, that's the membership piece. We sit alongside you. So for some jobs, if you're getting a roof repaired or replaced, you want multiple quotes. And so we coordinate that for you. You get a couple of quotes, and then we work with you to say, okay, all these are reasonable. What do you think? Or we think this is the right option, and we sort of sit alongside you for that. It's part of the happiness guarantee, and so we just say to members, let us know. We want to make sure that you're happy with the work, and so if something doesn't look the way you want it to, or it's not working the way you want it to, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen, then we fix it.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
This by credit card?
Yes, so what we're gonna, yes, yep, so what we're gonna do today, so I want to be mindful of all of your time. There's also extra food left, so please make sure to take it. So Emma, who's here, and Zach, who's here, and I do too, have information. We can get people signed up today who want to do that and get you set up for the founding membership. We also are here for people who have questions if you want to do that. So we're going to sort of scatter. You all have bags of information, which has the pamphlet, a letter from me, a 101 about how we all work. The spring is coming, and so we know there's a lot on your plates. We're ready to sort of get you going and get jobs done for you. So we're here to do that. So okay, so you can talk to Emma, you can talk to Zach, you can talk to me, we can get you signed up, and then we can go from there. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.